So I'm a physiotherapist, and physiotherapy or physical activity can be one of the part of holistic approach, or maybe which we should better say put that W in front of, because there are many specialists that are not coming from medical field, and they use that holistic approach. So it could be one of intervention to reduce damage or to slow or decline the aging, not only the dementia. So we all, everybody knows that physical activity has some benefits, effects on the reactive oxygen species. It improves immune cell system. It has some benefits for neurogenesis, can slow cognitive decline, or reduces ability for Alzheimer's disease. Also has some influence on reducing biological and cognitive senescence in humans. Vos et al. Did some research. There are huge research about published literature, and they found out that they have several impacts on neutrophils, cognition and behavior, and neurogenesis and brain structure as well. Also with the patient with Alzheimer's disease, where we talk about global cognition. And Barnes and Yaffe did the research, also it was literature review, and they found out that increasing physical activity for only 10% can significantly reduce occurrence of Alzheimer's disease. So everybody knows, we know, but do we do anything? So about researches, there are a lot of research, because you know gerontology is very hot. Let's say hot. It's not hot, but it's very interesting topic, and there are different researches done about that. It depends from which field the researcher is coming. So there are some researchers talking about physical activity in brain volume. We know that physical activity can improve memory functions and can impact in gray matter in prefrontal cortex and limbic cortex. There are improves or is correlated with volume in brain and total brain and white matter. They were doing MRI, and cognitive abilities, and it is associated with hippocampal volume. Alasko et al., it was a research published 2 years ago. They found out, nothing so new, that cognitive ability is reduced when the people are not so physically active, and that higher cardiorespiratory fitness is associated with gray matter volume in prefrontal cortex and hippocampus, and is less consistently in other regions. There are also some different researches that are improving that there is increase of peripheral BDFN with patients with mild with MCI, and they have better memory, and that people that are not so physically active have decrease of BDFN. There are also some researches that are showing that there is increase of AGF1, and of course these patients that when they are more physically active, they have better cognitive functions. There is also a link between aging and dopaminergic function, and there are some other studies that are showing that aerobic physical activity has positive effect on normalizing NAA, and we know that higher concentrations of NAA are important for better working memory. So our aim is to add life to years, not years to life, and this is also our main sentence that is popular in our field. So there are some other researches that say that more complicated physical activities can affect on less stability in bodies and decline the quality of life and can induce some memory problems. Some other researches also say that better cognitive functions are correlated with less cognitive decline, and they work or they influence on working memory, attentions, and verbal memory. And also they established that walking is associated with a reduced risk of dementia. But not all researches have some positive effects. For example, there was a research published in 2008, and they found out that there are only small impairment when people are physically active, and some others say that physical activity improves memory-related tasks. So there was also one research that was done in last year. It was done among sedentary older adults, and there was some group. One group was physically active, and the other group had health education, and they found out that there were no significant differences between them. So they were thinking maybe there was not appropriate physical activity, because there is a problem. Which one is appropriate? And maybe they were not cognitive vulnerable people. They were mostly high-educated people. And besides, health education has some influence as well. So, and it was established that physical activity doesn't facilitate all cognitive functions. It has some influence on reasoning, working memory tasks, and cognitive flexibility. So what is the best? That's what we want to know, because if we want to do something, what is the best? So what kind of physical activity is the best? For sure, there are some proofs that this could be or should be aerobic exercises or aerobic activity. And this one is beneficial for cognitive functions, but is it because of activity or because of better cardiovascular influence in brain? That is what we don't know yet. So Kelly and all, they did a very quite good public literature review. It was about 25 researches, and they found out that the best one is combination of aerobic fitness and resistance training. But that is what it is now a suggestion of our WHO organization. So we should do aerobic exercise most time of the week, 5 or let's say better 6 times for 40 minutes, and 2 or let's say better 3 times per week doing some muscle endurance tests. So Gates, they did study, you see the number is quite big, and they found out that the aerobic physical exercise benefits only on verbal fluency. And then there is another question. What kind of aerobic exercise is low, moderate, or high intensity the best one? Because if we have high-intensity aerobic exercise, then this is older population, and they are vulnerable. Oh, my long tongue. And they have a lot of comorbidity, and they have to spend a lot of time thinking how to do the exercises, so they are not able to do it properly. So more intensity, more attention, less cognition. And it can even influence opposite.